Start. So we are going to start with virtual routers. So what are virtual routers? Basically, when it comes to the routing traffic between different networks, one need a router. We all know that in the CCNA we have covered, or in the CCNP we know that whenever we have to route a traffic between two different networks, okay, we need what? A router. Okay, but in the firewall we don't have a routers. Okay, but here Palo Alto network firewalls are capable of routing the traffic between two networks. Okay, how it gonna do that? It will do that with the help of a concept called virtual routers. With the help of virtual routers, it will route traffic between the, or we can say between networks. Okay, so this flow can either be a static or dynamic routing. Okay, so basically these virtual routers use virtualized routing tables. Okay, they use, yes, yes, okay, okay, look in the technologies now, every technologies have different methods. Okay, okay, when I will show you the practical, then you will get the idea where is virtual router, okay, and how we are going to configure it and why we are saying that it is virtualized. Okay, just let me complete this virtual router theoretical part. After that we are going to go to the practical part. Okay, there you will get the understanding. Okay, so basically you can say that this virtual router is also kind of a profile. Okay, if you want more clarity, think it like we have done many profiles in the Palo Alto. Okay, although we are gonna create more kinds of profiles and we are gonna add those profiles into security policies and those kind of things. Okay, think it like this virtual router as a profile also. Okay, and where we are gonna attach this profile? We're gonna attach this profile into the layer 3 interfaces. Okay, and VLAN interfaces. Or we have one more that is loopback interfaces. It is compulsory to attach these virtual router profiles into these type of interfaces. Okay, we are gonna configure all these things. Loopback, we are gonna do it on the VPN. For testing purpose, we are gonna create the VLAN, and we have already created worked on the layer 3 interfaces. Okay, but right now let us stick to the virtual routers. What are virtual routers? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, what I was saying that, okay, this Palo Alto firewall is capable of supporting dynamic routing protocols. What are dynamic routing protocols? For example, we have RIP. Okay, please remember this, that this Palo Alto firewall supports only RIP version 2. We have OSPF and BGP. Okay, we're gonna configure this RIP also and this OSPF also. Now we have talked about one point that each L3 interface, loopback interface, and the VLAN interface, they must be associated with, they must be associated with what? With virtual router. Okay, okay, is this point clear? Okay, so okay, now suppose we have, this is my Palo Alto firewall. Okay, suppose we have four interfaces, E1/1, E1/2, E1/3, and E1/4. Suppose I have attached this virtual router on these two interfaces. Okay, I have attached my virtual router profile on these two interfaces. Now only these two interfaces will perform what? Routing, or we can say only these two interfaces are capable of performing routing. That's why I was saying that this virtual router is what? It is a virtualized concept. Okay, basically it's not like that we cannot perform on the E1/3 interface. Okay. Hmm. Yes. Yes. Because we are adding these profiles. Okay. I'm going to show you that how we can add those profiles. Although we have already done that. Okay. But right now you'll get clarity when you will see again. Okay. That time you just saw that we are adding something on our interfaces. That is a default virtual router thing. Okay. But that time you don't know what is virtual router. Now you are getting understanding of the virtual router. But now when we implement virtual router on our interface, then you'll get the clarity. But why we are adding that virtual router in the interfaces? Why we are adding that? We are adding because we want to make that particular interface act as a, or we can say to perform a routing. Okay. So that routing can be of anything. Okay. Either it can be static, either it can be dynamic, or it will use any dynamic, it will use any protocol, or it can be a default one also. Okay. So basically, it's not like that this E1/4 is also not capable of performing the routing. It's just that we haven't added this E1/4 in our virtual router. If we will add this E1/4 in our virtual router, then it will act as a, then it will perform the routing. Okay. So according to the scenarios, we're gonna add interfaces to the different profiles. Suppose I want to make this E1/4 as a layer 2. I want layer 2 deployment here. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make E1/4 as a layer 2 interface. Suppose I want to apply high HA here. Okay. Forget what is HA right now. Okay. Just it is a kind of a different type of interface. Okay. Suppose I want to apply E1/3 and E1/4, E1/5. On these two interfaces, I will make it as a HA, high availability. Okay. So these are basically, we have multiple kinds of profiles in Palo Alto. Okay. So according to our need, we're gonna make interfaces to like that one interface will perform routing, one interface will perform layer 2 deployment, one interface will perform CAP kind of thing, one interface will perform high availability. So these are basically depend on the profiles. How I'm gonna add profiles to my interfaces. Okay. So suppose here we have added, suppose here we have added two interfaces as a in the routing, or we can say in the virtual router. So, but how is this going to look at? It will look like that. This is my firewall. Okay, if I'm saying this is my E1/1, I am adding this as a virtual router. So this E1/1 interface now will act as a router. Okay, and this E1/2 interface again it will also act as a router. So in the firewall, what we have two routers, 1 and 2. But are these routers are physically present? Are these routers are physically present? No, no. So that's why we say it as a virtual router, and this one also as a virtual router. Okay, now let me show you that how we are going to make it L3 VLANs. Then also we have to add the virtual routers. Okay. So yes, we are going to create. Okay, in the one particular, I'm going to add make one VLAN also. Okay, I'll show you how we're going to make the VLANs. Okay, basically you guys remember the SVI concept? SVI concept, na? That okay, yes, that same VLAN is kind of working like here. Okay, in the Palo Alto, we work that VLAN works like same concept as SVI. So what are the things? What I'm going to do? Let's configure something on the R2. Okay, let it boot up. Okay, so my Palo Alto firewall is also like it's 2.132. So it will take time to come up. So till then, what we're going to do, we're going to configure R2. So let us make loopback on our R2. How I'm going to make loopback on routers? What is the command? If I want to make loopbacks, anyone? Interface. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to make two loopbacks. Okay, int L1 and int L2. That is IP address 2.2.2, 55.55.55.0. Right? And I have to assign one IP here also. I'm going to assign 1.1. Okay. Let us perform default routing so that our both the loopbacks will go to the firewall. Okay. So what is the command to perform the default routing? IP route. Let me open my numblock. 0.0.0 and 192.168. I have to give the. Let us. Look. I like to give 1.10 to the firewall. Okay. So I recommend you guys to do that also. Okay, so that you guys know that what is the IP that we have given on the firewall. Okay, so that you guys don't want to check again and again. Okay, just come up. Everyone is able to access the Palo Alto firewall GUI. Anyone is facing problem? Okay. Okay. What? Okay, I have shared 10.1 version 10, not 8.1. Okay, I will share the 8.1 also. Okay, we will see after the class we will talk about this. Okay. Okay. So I think I have already configured something. Okay, forget it. So first thing what we are going to do, look, we are going to configure here two interfaces. We're going to here two kinds of interfaces. Okay, one is our Ethernet. Okay, all of you know that how we are going to configure this Ethernet 1/1. Okay, and next thing that we are going to configure is this VLAN. Okay, basically all things are same. Okay, concepts are same, but we are going to see we will configure one VLAN also. So let me remove that. Now I think I've already configured this. Okay, so I'm not configuring it again. So first thing that you cannot change this interface name. Okay, we have discussed this, but we can change the interface type. I want my interface to be act as a layer 3. Okay, so I have added layer 3. Now in the virtual router, we have added default one. Please remember default one is already created. Okay, by default it is created. Okay, I will show you where it is created. Now in the security zone, I have added one zone as inside. If you guys don't know that how to add the zone, if there is no zone, just click on the zone and write any zone name here. Just click OK. Okay. Now in the IP version 4, I have added the IP. All of you know that how we're going to add the IP, just like this. Now in the advanced, what we attach one management profile. Why we attach management profile, guys? Anyone? Just say to allow the services. Yes, to allow the services. Okay, so that particular service can pass through that particular interface. Okay. No. This is management profile. We are not talking about the management port. Okay, these are the management profile in which we have services. Okay, services by. Yes. Because of this, that's why we have a separate management port. That's why we have separate management port, so that our data traffic cannot go to the management port. Okay, we don't want that. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to configure the VLAN. Okay, so I've already configured the VLAN. So how we're going to configure this? Just click on the add. Okay, it will open like this. Okay, so here, just attach the VLAN. Okay, so if there is no VLAN created, just click here. Okay, like we used to do. Just click on the VLAN. Just give the name. Okay, and enter the interface, whatever the interface we have VLAN. Okay, and add the interface. Okay, if you don't want to do that, you cannot just don't do it here. Okay, it will automatically select it here. Now, if you want to attach the IP, okay, there are two things remaining. You have to attach the virtual router and the security zone. Okay, now you will go into the IP version 4 and attach the IP here. Okay, I have given the IP 10.1.1.1. Okay, so in the advanced, there is last thing remaining, that is to attach the management profile. As we have already configured, we have configured two management profiles. All services are ping. You can select anyone. Okay, right now we just need the ping profile, so that's why I'm selecting just ping. Just click OK here, and please remember, whenever you configure any interface, okay, what you guys have to do, you have to commit. Okay, if you will not commit, what will happen? That interface will not get come up. Okay, so from here also you can create the VLAN. Okay, suppose I've given the name VLAN 11. Okay, this is I've created. Now I want to make another VLAN. I will just go here. I will give the VLAN name 20, and here we have created 10 and 11. Okay, so just think that VLAN 11 is 20. Okay, let me give it name here 11. Now in the virtual router, I'm gonna give it default. Okay, I will show you virtual router, and we will discuss everything on the virtual router. Now in the IP version 4, suppose I'm giving it here any IP, that is 11.11.11.11/24. Now in the advanced, what we have to do, we have to just attach the management profile. Click OK. Sorry. We can change the empty size, but we don't change it. Okay. Yes, we can change the empty size, but we don't change it. Okay. By default, it will be around 1500. Okay. We don't change it. Now, main topic, that is our virtual router, where we are gonna. Okay, let me commit that we have added one VLAN now. So all of you guys know how we can create the VLAN. All of you guys know how we're going to configure the interfaces. Okay, so now we will move on to the virtual router concept. Okay, our configurations are safe. How can we test? We are gonna do ping. Okay, with the help of CLI. Okay, so we will do that later. Okay, after creating the virtual router. Okay, we're gonna test that. Okay, so now we are gonna go into the default one, as I have told you that this default is by default created. Okay, so either I can add it from here. Okay, any interface. Either I can add it from here, or how these three interfaces are added to this virtual router default. Can anyone tell me why I'm seeing three interfaces here? Yes, but why it is showing here? Yes, yes, because I have already attached the virtual router profile to my interfaces. That's why it is showing here. Okay, if I suppose for E1/2 I haven't attached this virtual router profile, so how I'm going to do that? As we haven't configured E1/2, that's why it is not showing here. So it will show here. Just click here. Okay, it will attach it. Okay, right now we haven't configured. I think we haven't configured any loopback. So just remove it. So what I'm going to do that. So let us discuss everything here. So what in this name we can give any name. Okay, so basically this name is basically to specify the virtual router. Okay, now if we want to attach any interfaces, we're gonna go here and we can select the interfaces that want to include in virtual router. Simple thing. Now here we can see the list of the administrative distance. Okay, so in the previous class we have little bit discussed about how we can configure the static route. Can anyone tell me? Anyone? In the previous class we have talked about how we can configure the static route or the default route. Okay, can anyone remember? Can anyone tell me? Okay, we will go on to the static route. Okay, I think we have. Okay, so you can just go here and okay, as we have already configured one static route. So what we are gonna do? We're gonna talk about this every portion of the static route. So what this name is? This name is basically is used to identify. Right now we are talking about the static route, so this name will be identification of the static route, whatever the static route we are configuring. Okay, suppose in the destination, what we have to write? I think we have right now we have talked about the default route. Okay, but in the destination, what we can write? In the destination, why we use destination? Suppose for a particular IP address that is 1.1.1.1, I have to write it. Suppose for this 1.1.0/24. Okay, for this network, I am creating what static route. So I will mention this thing that is 1.1.1.0/24. Okay, so this is for the static, but right now we are configuring what default one. So static one is also same, default one is also same. Just in the static, what we have to do? We have to write it like this 1.1.1.0, and then we have to again call one profile and add 2.2.2.0/24. But we are not going to do this. What we are going to do? We are going to create the default one. Okay. Now in the interface, which interface I will take? Sorry. No. Which interface I will take? In which interface we have configured the static route? Okay. Okay. So what we can say that we will select that particular interface now, which will forward the packet to the destination. Okay. So we will here what we are going to do, we will select that interface. We will select that interface which will forward the packet. Which will forward the packet to the where destination. Got it? Is that simple? Okay. Now in the next hop address, what we are selecting? We are selecting the IP address. Okay. So which IP address I will give it here? It will be my next hop. And what is my next hop? The device name. That is router. Okay. I don't know what is router 2 or 3, maybe anything. Okay. Now next thing we have is administrative distance. Okay. So we can select any AD value for our static route. It has range 10 to 240. Okay. We can select it anything. But by default, what it will take? Okay. By default, it is 10. And in the routers, what's the AD value of static route? 0 or 1? Okay, 1. I thought I forgot. Okay, so leave these things, BMP profile, unicast. Okay, now what we are going to do, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, you can take it. Okay, you guys have already taken it. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we're going to save it. Okay,